horrifying sleep experiment was conducted by a Russian scientist back in the late 1800s. If you're an animal lover, you might want to scroll on. That neuroscientist, Maria Manasena, had 10 puppies. They were fed by their mother, they had all of their needs met, except she kept them in a state of permanent insomnia by keeping them constantly active. She also had a second group of puppies that were allowed to sleep, but they were deprived of food. Devastatingly, within 4 to 5 days, all of the puppies in the sleep deprivation group had died. But the puppies who were deprived of food were able to survive for 25 days, and even after that, they were able to return them to good health. Now, that experiment was gruesome, horrific, and unethical. It was also the first evidence we had that sleep was just as important as nutrition in maintaining life. So if you're planning on working on your health in 2021, sleep is a really good place to start.
Jurassic Park.
Do you hate the sound of your own voice? What if I told you it's actually science that makes you think like that? An aversion to the sound of your voice has a name. It's called voice confrontation. And one reason could be that when you listen back to your voice in a voice recording, you're actually listening to it at a different frequency to when you listen to your own voice when you're speaking. That's because when we speak, we're listening to our own voice through the air, but also through our own body and our bones. Nice. And in a voice recording, the frequency will be higher, so you may not like your own voice at that higher frequency. But a 2013 study found that when people were rating the attractiveness of different voices that had been recorded, when their own voice had secretly been mixed into the selection of samples, people rated the voice higher when they didn't recognise it as their own. So if you don't like the sound of your own voice, you're a perfectly normal human, and you probably sound perfectly normal and nice.
Why do we always have room for dessert? Well, that's because of dessert stomach, or sensory-specific satiety. Basically, the more you eat of something, the less you like it, and your brain tells you you're full. But you're only full with that specific taste, texture, or flavor. So while you might lose your appetite for one type of food, a different type of food will seem appealing, like dessert. The theory is our bodies evolved in this way to keep us healthy. By limiting our appetite for one type of food and encouraging us to switch, it boosts the chances we'll get all the nutrients we need. This theory also explains why we tend to overeat at barbecues and buffets, because there's a wide variety of foods present. So you eating dessert is just evolution.
It's snowing in many parts of the UK today, and if I was to ask you what colour snow is, you'd probably say white, right? Wrong. The reason we see colours is because some wavelengths of light are absorbed and others are reflected. Take for example my red top. It absorbs all the colours except red, and it reflects red back out for you to see. Snowflakes are technically colourless, but light is scattered and bounced around the uneven ice crystals, and the reflected light includes all wavelengths, all colours, and added together this makes white. But technically snowflakes are colourless.
Interesting facts about the brain that you didn't already know. Part 14. So you have somewhere between 12 to 60,000 thoughts a day. 95% of those thoughts are the same repetitive thoughts that you had the day before, and 80% of them are negative. So unfortunately, we're wired to think negatively. Sometimes you just got to see through it.
What's in here? It's a unique piece of kinetic art called a square wave, once again sent to me by the cool people at JP Games, so check them out. The 24 precise pieces are inspired by the Fibonacci sequence, so when you add kinetic energy, you get this beautiful fluidity that comes through it all. Isn't it so mesmerizing?